apart from saying millets and sorghum are good for you, I mean, I think, actually if I cover this up, hopefully you know ragi. What is ragi most known for nutritionally? Calcium. Yeah. So ragi has 3 times the amount of calcium as milk. And some, not a lot, but some bioavailability studies have been done to show that you will absorb it. So now, I'm sure you won't get this one. Okay, so little millet, barnyard millet, and pearl millet, or bajra, are the only 3 that are very, very high in iron and zinc. However, it varies a lot by the variety. Now, unlike ragi, almost all ragi varieties are really, really, really high in the calcium. Okay. But with the iron and zinc, it differs a lot by variety. And we're still to work out how we move things ahead so the variety is selected appropriately. Because it can be 4 or 5 times the amount of iron depending on the variety. And that's a huge, huge difference. So that's a very important part that we still have to really develop. Okay, and of course it's still quite reasonable in protein as well. As there's a lot and the dietary fibre as well. And you know, when we start looking at the processing, we need to process it differently for the different health needs as well, and use the right millets for the different health needs. So like high in fibre may not be great for a baby, but it's going to be great for an adult. And how you process it is going to affect the glycemic index and hence influence how good also it is for diabetes. So the whole processing side is still critical. It's not good enough just to say millets are nutritious, because what we do with it will make a difference. So you probably know that, so like we say, why we say they're good for the planet is because they do grow with very few fertilizers and pesticides, and they have a very low carbon footprint. So they grow in a much shorter time than, let's say, about half the time when we say wheat, because there's stress on the environment. And as you know, they survive with a lot less water. So 30% less water than maize, 70% less water than rice. It's not that they have a smaller water footprint. They actually, if you give them the water, they'll still absorb the water. It's not that they won't. It's just that they survive with less water. So they'll survive in those harsher areas, and the areas that have got degraded soils, they're so hardy, they'll survive better. And then we say good for the farmer because basically it survives in the hot climates as well as with less water. So you know, we often say it's like the last crop standing in times of drought. So it's a risk management strategy for the farmer. And we say also because there's a potential to increase the yield a lot. Some of the big crops have had so much attention. Now it takes a lot more effort to increase their yield because they're closer to a yield plateau, whereas the millets, there's still, and sorghum, there's still a lot more potential. And then of course the multiple uses, the feed and fodder, as well as human food, biofuel and brewing. So there's some good new companies starting in India for brewing millet beer. But we always put a proviso. We say it's actually not necessarily better for the farmer unless we can develop that value chain, because the farmer still needs to grow where they get the best money. So we have to develop that value chain so it is more profitable for the farmer. So that's a little bit about smart food, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yes,